You are listening to the audio production of The Advent of Glory, 24 Devotions for Christmas by R.C. Sproul, published by Audiobooks. This book was originally published by the Good Book Company and is read by Michael Beck. Day 1. Certainty. Growing up in Pittsburgh, it was a tradition in our home to go to the Christmas Eve service every year. We would assemble outside the church at about 10:15, even though the service started at 11, because so many people would congregate for that special candlelit event. It was filled with pageantry and great choral music, and at about 13 minutes to 12, the minister would begin his Christmas Eve homily. Just as the clock reached 12, in the middle of the sermon, the organist would start to play, and the pastor would stop his sermon in mid-sentence as the chimes began to sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. We would all sit there in the pews and count them, and as soon as the 12th tone had registered, the pastor would smile to the congregation and he would say, "It's Christmas, and may I be the first on this day to wish you a Merry Christmas." It used to send chills up and down my spine. It was the same every year, and as I grew up, I never wanted to miss it, particularly not on those Christmas Eves when it had snowed and the lawn was covered in the newly fallen snow. There was just something about it. I loved it. But I was not a believer. To me, this was all just exciting pageantry, leading up to the next morning when we got to open the presents. In September 1957, I had my conversion to Christianity. Like any new Christian, I was absolutely absorbed with the discovery of Christ. It was utter sweetness to me. I remember my first Christmas as a Christian, coming back home from college for the holidays, driving through the snow to the church, going into the sanctuary, singing the same hymns that I had sung for so many years, hearing the sermon, hearing the chimes strike midnight, and this time, when the minister interrupted his sermon, listened to the chimes, and then leaned over the pulpit and said, "It's Christmas." I was about ready to walk into heaven. It was all the joy that I could handle. Now, for the first time, I was experiencing this pageantry as reality, as truth, as something that had actually taken place. I was experiencing what Luke would have wanted me to experience when he wrote down the story in the first place. It seemed good to me also, having followed all things closely for some time past, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, that you may have certainty concerning the things you have been taught. Luke chapter 1. Verses 3 and 4. Luke begins his gospel account by stating his purpose. I want you to know it with full assurance that these things that I am about to relate to you are the sober truth. The accounts that he is going to give to us are not the accounts of speculation. He has compiled a series of eyewitness reports. Verses 1 and 2. Luke wasn't an eyewitness himself. He was converted by the apostles and came under the tutelage of Paul. Much of what Luke knew he had gained from his association with Paul, as well as with others who were among the first disciples. It's very likely that Luke had the privilege of interviewing Mary, the mother of Christ. He gives us more information about the birth of Jesus than anybody else, and he got all that information from an eyewitness. Luke wrote an orderly, historical, carefully documented account
Sample complete. Ready to continue?